It tells the tragic story of a leopard who relies on her mother for support, chronicling her journey of growth. Watch as Anna, the leopard who leeches off her mother, is ruthlessly abandoned by her mother, only to transform step by step through sheer willpower into a dedicated and responsible mother, ultimately achieving a rags to riches turnaround in this inspiring tale. This is a female leopard who loves to leech off her parents. She neither works nor looks for a boyfriend, relying entirely on her elderly mother for her livelihood day in and day out. Seeing that her daughter was beyond help, the elderly mother finally steeled her heart and walked out on her. This adult female leopard is named Anna. After being abandoned by her mother, what fate awaits her, since she doesn't know how to hunt? In the Luwangu River basin of Zambia, all animals struggle to survive, working tirelessly from dawn till dusk. For Anna, however, there was no need for such anxiety. She could simply rely on her mother. That day, her 10-year-old mother, Mary, had once again caught a 100-kilogram antelope. In the world of leopards, 10 years is equivalent to 60 or 70 years in human terms. Although she is quite old, she is still forced to hunt tirelessly every day. This tree is her usual home. She has lived here for 8 years. As an experienced hunter, Mary has patiently taught her daughter Anna the art of hunting over the past 2 or 3 years, hoping her daughter will be able to live independently once she reaches adulthood. But although Anna has mastered the skills, she has never actually tried hunting. Perhaps her mother's indulgence has made her accustomed to a life of having food served to her. Early the next morning, just as Mary was about to enjoy yesterday's catch, Anna suddenly followed the scent right over. This gluttonous, lazy daughter truly causes Mary endless worry. In most cases, leopards leave home to live on their own once they reach adulthood, but Anna stubbornly refused to go. Faced with her daughter's obstinate attitude, Mary felt helpless. After all, she was her own flesh and blood, and Mary simply couldn't bring herself to drive her away. Once Anna climbed the tree, she tried to keep the entire kill for herself, sparking a fierce argument between mother and daughter. The commotion immediately caught the baboon's attention. As a seasoned leopard, Mary knew this signalled impending danger. The prey would attract other predators, putting both her and her daughter in grave peril. After much deliberation, Mary decided to leave the prey for her good-for-nothing daughter. Overjoyed at having secured the prey, Anna began to feast on the tree, completely oblivious to her surroundings. Seeing her daughter act so shamelessly, Mary seethed with anger, thinking to herself that if Anna weren't her biological daughter, she would have. One could see in Mary's eyes that she was torn between love and hate at that moment. Her piercing gaze seemed murderous. At the same time, she made a decision in her heart. After devouring the prey, Anna lay lazily on her mother's bed, enjoying this pleasant afternoon nap. But she had no idea that her good times were about to come to an end. As dusk fell, Anna woke up and went to the river to drink water, hoping to find her mother along the way. After taking a few sips, she was surprised to discover that her mother, who usually waited for her by the big tree, was nowhere to be seen. With no other choice, Anna could only wait anxiously under the dead tree, hoping her mother would appear. However, Mary had already made up her mind. She would not be coming back. To force her daughter to learn to live independently, she had decided to settle down 3 kilometers away. it was a difficult decision for a mother to make. For Mary, leaving the place where she had lived for nearly 10 years was an extremely painful experience. But for the sake of her wayward daughter Anna, she had no choice but to sever their ties completely, a clear sign of just how deeply disappointed she was in her daughter. Anna went to the places her mother used to frequent, and finally it seemed she understood that her mother would never return. At that moment, she felt a sense of helplessness and loneliness. Without the food her mother provided, where would Anna go next? As night fell, the grasslands were fraught with danger. Anna also felt a loneliness she had never experienced before. From now on, this spoiled little princess would have to face life on her own, a tremendous ordeal for her. Anna and Ron's lion prides lived in the same hostile territory. They were natural arch enemies. The true rulers of this land were the lions. After climbing down from the tree, Anna walked silently toward the Lion King. At that moment, they were only a few hundred meters apart. If they encountered each other, Anna would certainly be in for a world of trouble. As they drew closer, the Lion King happened to be distracted by another scent, and so Anna luckily narrowly escaped disaster. But an even greater danger lay ahead, waiting for the inexperienced Anna. It turned out there was a pack of hunting dogs ahead, devouring the carcass of the black spotted wolf with ravenous abandon. Though the hunting dogs looked a bit scruffy, their bite was incredibly powerful. They snapped bones as easily as chopping vegetables. Yet Anna failed to see the danger. Instead, she was mesmerized by their prey. Without the food her mother used to provide, Anna was now starving. She should have avoided this pack of hunting dogs, but having lived under her mother's protection since childhood, she had long grown accustomed to getting whatever she wanted. Consequently, she naturally assumed that stealing a bite of the hunting dog's food was no big deal. Faced with the temptation of the prey right before her, Anna crept closer, unaware that she was walking toward her doom. Although hunting dogs are naturally ferocious, their night vision is very poor. They rely primarily on hearing and smell to detect movement. Just then, one of the hunting dogs seemed to sense something and looked around warily. Fortunately, Anna was hidden in the shadows and went unnoticed, but she was too preoccupied to care about the danger. Starving, she thought she was back with her mother, that all she had to do was scream to get food. Little did she know the hunting dogs weren't about to indulge this little princess. Just as she licked a bit of the offal, the dogs launched an attack on her. This startled Anna and gave her a real taste of the cruelty of the world. The hunting dogs had assumed Anna had left. With their bellies full, they lay down to rest for a while. Anna thought her chance had come and, still fearless, planned to sneak another bite. The hunting dogs, however, had grown tired of her and finally decided to call for reinforcements. At this point, Anna was completely unaware of the gravity of the situation. She crept forward once more, her heart filled with a sense of luck. Just then, the hunting dogs could no longer tolerate her presence. Faced with an attack from 3 hunting dogs, Anna had no choice but to turn and flee for her life. Fortunately, she wasn't injured in the process. Otherwise, what awaited her would have been a living hell. The next morning, Anna licked the wounds she'd sustained the night before. It was her first taste of the harsh realities of the wild. Fortunately, they were only minor injuries, and hopefully this would make her fully understand that not everyone is like her mother, that crying and throwing a tantrum won't always get her what she wants. If Anna didn't change her ways, she wouldn't survive a week. This 15-year-old leopard bear named Biden was struggling to drag the prey he'd caught the night before. He was already in his twilight years, 1 foot was practically on the coffin lid, yet he could still provide for himself, hauling a nearly 60-kilogram antelope up a tree. Just then Anna, drawn by the scent of meat, crept silently toward him. Biden, who was enjoying his meal, spotted Anna. Perhaps due to the attraction between the sexes, the lecherous Biden didn't react as strongly as usual, while Anna, having learned her lesson from last time, didn't dare to force the issue. She could only wait at the base of the tree for an opening, casting a pitiful gaze up at the old male in the tree, hoping he'd share some of his meal. This, however, sparked a wave of discontent. They let out shrill alarm calls, and immediately the small animals around them joined in, banding together to drive Anna away. Biden's heart sank. He realized it wasn't safe to stay here much longer. He had intended to make a run for it with his prey, but unfortunately, the prey was stuck in the tree. A hunting dog had also arrived, drawn by the commotion. Not wanting to take any risks, Biden had no choice but to give up and left the area in a foul mood. Just as Anna was secretly gloating, she spotted the pride of lions where the prey was located. The sheer number of lions terrified her, and she quickly fled the dangerous area. Fortunately, they didn't give chase. Once again, reality dealt her a harsh blow. Without the free food her mother provided, Anna found herself in a life-or-death situation. By nightfall, the starving Anna finally decided to start hunting. She stopped every 3 steps and looked around every 5, trying to move as cautiously as possible. It had been 48 hours since her mother left her, and she hadn't eaten for 2 days. By now, Anna was starving. She began searching for suitable prey. She spotted a porcupine with her young. A creature covered in quills was clearly out of the question. Anna then approached a herd of grazing antelopes. She recalled the skills her mother had taught her. Although she hadn't practiced them in so long, she still remembered what to do.